Prince Louis, the youngest and most mischievous member of the royal family, has a knack for stealing the spotlight with his candid personality. While he gets along with most of the family, it's hard not to notice a certain distance between him and Queen Camilla. There were a couple of moments where it seemed like they were getting along, but everything changed during the Christmas celebration hosted by Princess Kate. Join us as we reveal how Prince Louis stunned the entire country with his royal bombshell message about Camilla. The youngest royal. There's no better way to start today's story than with the charming, cheeky, and undeniably lovable Prince Louis, the youngest child of Prince William and Kate Middleton. Born on a sunny spring morning, April 23, 2018, at St. Mary's Hospital in London, Louis arrived with all the pomp and circumstance befitting a royal. The air was filled with celebration, gun salutes, bell chimes, and a country collectively swooning over the newest member of the House of Windsor. From the very beginning, Louis captured hearts. His parents chose the name Louis Arthur Charles, a nod to his grandfather, now King Charles III, and a tribute to the late Louis, Earl Mountbatten of Burma, a close relative who played a significant role in the royal family's history. It's a big name for such a little boy, but if his early years are anything to go by, Louis is more than ready to live up to it. Let's talk about his christening. It was a royal affair, of course. On July 9, 2018, Louis was baptized by the Archbishop of Canterbury in the Chapel Royal at St. James's Palace. The photos from that day, simply adorable. His elder siblings, George and Charlotte, looked proud as ever, already showing signs of their close sibling bond. Growing up as the youngest in a royal household isn't your typical childhood experience. But William and Kate have worked hard to give their kids a balance between royal duties and normal family life. Little Louis spent his earliest years between Kensington Palace in London and Anmer Hall, the family's country retreat in Norfolk. His parents have often spoken about how they cherish family time, whether it's gardening, baking, or just playing outdoors, activities where Louis's lively personality reportedly shines. Speaking of personality, Louis made a splash during his Trooping the Colour debut in 2019. Perched on the Buckingham Palace balcony, he waved enthusiastically to the crowd and proved, even as a toddler, that he's not one to shy away from attention. Fast forward to Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee celebrations, and he stole the show again with his animated expressions, playful demeanor, and a couple of meme-worthy moments that had the internet talking for weeks. Education is a priority for the Wales family, and Louis took his first big step into formal learning when he started at Wilcox Nursery School in 2021. The little prince was all smiles as he joined his peers near Kensington Palace, showing the same curiosity and enthusiasm his parents have often highlighted in their public appearances. By 2022, big changes were on the horizon for the family. They relocated to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor Home Park, a move that provided more privacy and space for their growing children. That same year, Louis started attending Lambrook School, an independent preparatory school in Berkshire, alongside George and Charlotte. Despite his tender age, Louis has already been part of some major historical events. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, the royal family entered a new chapter. His grandfather ascended the throne as King Charles III, and with that, Louis became fourth in line to the throne, a significant milestone, as he is the first British prince in history to follow an elder sister in succession, thanks to the Perth Agreement. The coronation of King Charles III on May 6, 2023, was another big moment for Louis. Dressed in impeccable royal attire, he attended alongside his parents and siblings, adding a touch of youthful charm to the grandeur of the event. While his elder brother, Prince George, played a more formal role in the ceremony, Louis's presence reminded everyone of the next generation of royals, the adorably annoying little brother. It is clear to you that Louis, as the youngest member of the royal family, is the most mischievous. Whether he's pulling cheeky faces at royal events or trying to blow out his sister's candle at a Christmas service, Prince Louis has a knack for stealing the spotlight. But behind the giggles and grins lies a heartwarming dynamic with his older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Like any youngest sibling, Louis holds a special place in the family, not just for being the baby of the bunch, but for the unique bonds he shares with his brother and sister. His playful antics might sometimes earn him the title of annoying little brother, but let's be honest, it's a title he seems to wear proudly, and one that everyone adores him for. If there's one sibling Louis looks up to, and perhaps copies a bit too much, it's Princess Charlotte. At just 8 years old, Charlotte has taken on the unofficial role of big sister in charge. She's often seen guiding Louis during public appearances, ensuring he sticks to royal protocol, as much as a 6-year-old can, and keeping him in check when his cheeky side gets the better of him. Charlotte's protective nature was on full display during the family's outing to Kate Middleton's annual Christmas carol service at Westminster Abbey. Louis, making his debut at the event, walked confidently alongside his siblings, unfazed by the grandeur of the historic venue. With Charlotte by his side, it was as if Louis knew he had his own personal guardian angel watching over him. And while he did try to blow out her candle on the way out, Charlotte simply smiled, brushing it off with the kind of patience only a big sister could muster. Their bond isn't new. It's been growing since Louis's birth. A particularly sweet photo from Charlotte's 3rd birthday shows her cradling baby Louis in her lap, planting a gentle kiss on his forehead. Even at such a young age, she was already showing signs of the loving big sister she would become. And while their roles have evolved, the closeness remains. Whether it's volunteering at baby banks or joining in the fun at royal events, Charlotte often takes the lead, with Louis happily following in her footsteps. Now let's talk about George, the 10-year-old future king who has been stepping into a more prominent royal role. For years, George and Charlotte were the dynamic duo, often spotted side by side during family outings. But recently, George and Louis's relationship has blossomed, evolving into a charming mix of camaraderie and playful mischief. Insiders reveal that Louis has transitioned from being the annoying little brother to becoming George's pint-sized partner in crime. They've been spending more time together, bonding over shared interests, and of course, getting into a bit of trouble. Whether it's sneaking into the kitchen for post-dinner snacks or pulling pranks on their parents, George and Louis are proving that a little mischief runs in the family. And while George might be growing up fast, Louis has a way of bringing out the playful side in his older brother, reminding him it's okay to just be a kid sometimes. Their bond was also evident during Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, where Louis's larger-than-life expressions had everyone talking. While George maintained his composed demeanor, it was clear he kept a watchful eye on his younger brother, ensuring Louis didn't wander too far into the realm of royal chaos. Louis's lively personality doesn't stop at home. His recent foray into learning the drums has become a new chapter in his journey as the family's loudest member. Prince William, ever the relatable dad, joked about spending much of his time with his fingers in his ears as Louis enthusiastically hones his skills. You can almost picture it. Louis pounding away on his drum kit, Charlotte rolling her eyes but secretly admiring her brother's energy, and George pretending to be too cool while secretly wishing he could join in. It's these little moments that make the Wales children feel so relatable despite their royal status. And when you see George, Charlotte, and Louis together, it's clear they're more than siblings. They're a team. From matching outfits at royal events to volunteering side by side, the three of them have a bond that's both endearing and inspiring. During a recent visit to a baby bank, Charlotte took charge while Louis marveled at a King Kong toy, proving once again that the youngest often finds the most joy in the simplest things. A little prince surrounded by love. However, as the youngest member of the family, Louis has a special relationship with the older members of the royal family that sets him apart. He may be the cheeky third child, often stealing the show with his mischievous grins and spirited personality, but Louis is also deeply adored by those closest to him. It's no secret that Kate Middleton shares an incredibly close bond with her youngest son. Known for her gentle and nurturing parenting style, Kate has always been the kind of mother who balances royal responsibilities with a very hands-on approach to raising her children. And Louis? Well, he's the one who keeps her on her toes. Kate's love for the outdoors plays a huge role in her parenting, and it's clear Louis is right at home in nature. Whether it's exploring the grounds of Adelaide Cottage in Windsor or helping with gardening projects, Kate ensures her children, especially Louis, are always encouraged to embrace the simple joys of life. And let's not forget her creative side. With her love for art and baking, Kate often organizes activities that spark Louis's curiosity and playful energy. Louis has often been described as the wild child of the family, and Kate is reportedly the first to smile fondly when he does something cheeky. Whether he's dancing around in the kitchen with Charlotte or attempting to keep up with his older siblings, Kate knows how to turn these moments into cherished family memories. It's a bond built on laughter, love, and a bit of patience, something every parent with a spirited youngest child can relate to. As a father, Prince William has always tried to strike a balance between royal duty and active involvement in his children's lives. Louis, being the youngest, shares a particularly playful relationship with his dad. While William teaches his children the importance of kindness and responsibility, values passed down to him from Princess Diana, he also has a wonderful sense of humor, which Louis clearly inherits. In public, William is often seen gently guiding Louis during formal events, while behind the scenes, insiders reveal he's the first to laugh at his son's antics. For Louis, his maternal grandparents, Carol and Michael Middleton, provide the perfect escape from the formalities of royal life. At the Middleton family home in Berkshire, the environment is far more relaxed and cozy, allowing Louis to just be a child. Carol Middleton in particular is known for her dedication to her grandchildren, and little Louis benefits greatly from her hands-on approach. Whether it's baking cookies together, playing games outdoors, or helping her with gardening, Carol makes sure Louis enjoys the simple joys of childhood. She's not just a grandmother. She's a confidant, a playmate, and a source of endless hugs. Michael Middleton, on the other hand, brings calm and stability to Louis's world. He often takes Louis on nature walks or engages in quiet family moments. This connection to the Middletons gives Louis a sense of balance, grounding him in a more ordinary upbringing while still preparing him for life within the royal family. King Charles III may lead a busy life as the reigning monarch, but he's never too busy for his grandchildren, Louis included. Charles's passion for nature and the environment often shines through in his moments with Louis. Whether it's sharing stories about gardening, explaining the importance of protecting the planet, or teaching him about the history of the royal family, Charles plays a significant role in passing down his values to the next generation. Although Louis is still quite young, Charles is known to have a soft spot for him, much like he does for George and Charlotte. His grandfatherly role provides Louis with both wisdom and warmth, creating memories that will stay with him for years to come. With such strong bonds across the family, there's one person noticeably absent from Louis's inner circle: Camilla, the queen consort. While Louis shares playful and heartwarming relationships with everyone from Kate's parents to King Charles, Camilla's name rarely comes up when talking about his closest relationships. Is this simply a coincidence, or is there something more to it? Prince Louis and Camilla, the curious distance. Well, many think that the reason for the distance between Camilla and Louis is none other than the hatred that Prince William feels towards his stepmother. And who could blame him? Their complicated history has been brewing for decades. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Others believe this distance has nothing to do with William's feelings at all. Instead, they think that children, even as young as Louis, are far more perceptive than we give them credit for. Kids just know when something feels off, and Louis, the cheeky little prince that he is, might simply be steering clear of Camilla all on his own. To really understand this tension, we need to look back at the fraught relationship between William and Camilla. It's no secret that William holds deep-rooted resentment toward the woman who was at the center of his parents' public heartbreak. Imagine being a young boy, witnessing your family fall apart under the relentless glare of the media, with Camilla's name constantly making headlines. It's a pain that doesn't just fade away, and insiders have long hinted that William's polite smiles and public cordiality toward his stepmother mask a much colder reality. When Camilla officially married King Charles in 2005, William reportedly wasn't thrilled about it. He was loyal to his late mother, Princess Diana, and there's no doubt that her memory looms large in his feelings toward Camilla. Over the years, the two have managed to coexist, but it's more like an armistice than a loving relationship. William may appreciate Camilla's dedication to duty now, but that doesn't mean he's ready to roll out the red carpet for her, and it seems his kids have picked up on this too. Now let's talk about Louis. The youngest Wales sibling has always been described as spirited, playful, and let's face it, a little mischievous. But kids have an uncanny ability to pick up on the energy around them. Whether it's tension in a room, strained conversations, or subtle cues from the adults they trust, children often know when something isn't quite right. It's entirely possible that Louis senses something when Camilla is around. Maybe it's William's subtle wariness, or perhaps it's just the absence of the same warmth he receives from other family members. Children may be young, but they're certainly not stupid. They can spot when someone isn't as natural or as loving as, say, their grandparents Carol and Michael Middleton, or even King Charles himself. Louis, with his observant nature, might just be following his instincts and keeping his distance. Camilla, to her credit, has worked tirelessly over the years to carve out her role in the royal family. She's taken on charity work, stood beside King Charles through thick and thin, and won over many in the public who once viewed her as the villain in Diana's story. But within the Wales household, it's a different story. While King Charles adores his grandchildren and shares a warm bond with George, Charlotte, and Louis, Camilla's connection to them seems far less prominent. You'll rarely, if ever, see public moments of affection between her and the youngest Wales child. Some might say this is because Louis is still young and isn't often part of formal royal events. But others argue that it reflects something deeper, a natural distance born from a complicated family history. Remember, William is a fiercely protective father. He's determined to give his children as normal a childhood as possible, shielding them from the pain and scrutiny he endured growing up. If he harbors any lingering distrust toward Camilla, it's not hard to imagine him keeping her role in Louis's life at arm's length. The unexpected bond. You will be surprised to know that despite all the rumors about tension within the royal family, there have been moments when Prince Louis and Queen Camilla appeared to get along just fine. In fact, some of these moments were so heartwarming that they left royal watchers wondering if there's more to their relationship than meets the eye. Let's start with Christmas Day at Sandringham, a day filled with royal tradition and festive cheer. This particular holiday season, young Prince Louis, dressed adorably as always, caught everyone's attention during the royal family's walk to church. Louis, who had just turned 4, was walking alongside Queen Camilla, and the moment between them melted hearts across the nation. As the family made their way down the path, Camilla gently placed her hand on Louis's back, guiding him forward as they chatted. Louis, ever the charmer, looked up at her with his trademark grin, his eyes filled with curiosity and warmth. In that instant, it seemed as though the step-grandmother and grandson shared a genuine connection, a fleeting but significant moment of tenderness. Onlookers couldn't help but comment on how sweet the exchange was. Camilla, who often comes across as reserved, seemed relaxed and at ease with the cheeky young prince. And Louis, who is not one to hold back his emotions, seemed completely comfortable around her. Another instance that caught people's attention came during Camilla's visit to the Isle of Man. While fulfilling her royal duties, the queen consort met a mother with twin boys, both dressed in matching blue outfits. As Camilla admired the little ones, she couldn't resist bringing up her own Louis grandson, playfully describing him as quite a handful. The comment, delivered with a smile, drew laughter from the crowd. It was a candid and relatable moment that showcased Camilla's sense of humor and her awareness of Louis's larger-than-life personality. But what do these moments really mean? Don't be fooled. Camilla is already well known as someone who understands exactly how to act in public. It wouldn't be surprising if she did this deliberately, to create the impression that she and Louis share a close, affectionate bond, even if the reality might be far from it. The Christmas bombshell. You might think I'm exaggerating, but what if I tell you that Prince Louis stunned the entire country with a royal bombshell message about Camilla? This is the news from 5 minutes ago, so let's break it down. It all started at Princess Catherine's Beautiful Together at Christmas Carol service at Westminster Abbey. The event, warm and festive, was a celebration of love, gratitude, and togetherness, a perfect backdrop for what would soon become the most talked-about moment of the evening. As part of the service, guests were invited to write messages of appreciation on red cards and hang them on the kindness tree. Each card bore the name of someone who had helped them this year. The Wales children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, dutifully participated. As they walked into the Abbey alongside their parents, George and Charlotte carried their cards carefully, with the blank side facing outward, keeping their heartfelt notes private. But Louis, ever the spirited and mischievous youngest, proudly displayed his card for all to see. Written in his adorable handwriting was a touching message. "Thank you for Granny and Grandpa because they have played games with me." The reference, of course, was to his maternal grandparents, Carol and Michael Middleton, who are known to share a close bond with the young prince. The note melted hearts and drew smiles, especially as the Middleton family beamed with pride from their seats. However, as sweet as the moment seemed, the absence of a mention for Queen Camilla raised eyebrows among onlookers. In the crowd, someone jokingly asked Louis why Camilla wasn't on his list. Louis, never one to shy away from speaking his mind, responded with a candor that no one was prepared for. With a serious expression that only a child can master, he said, "She's lying." The room froze. Kate and William's smiles faltered, their faces a mix of shock and confusion. For a moment it seemed like time stood still. Kate bent down slightly, gently placing her hand on Louis's shoulder, her motherly instincts kicking in as she whispered something meant to calm him. William, on the other hand, appeared stunned, glancing toward Camilla, who stood a few feet away, her expression hard to read. Camilla's face quickly transformed into a strained smile, though it was clear she had been caught off guard. The queen consort, who had been graciously greeting guests and participating in the event, now found herself at the center of a royal storm. But Louis wasn't finished. In the way only a 6-year-old could, he elaborated in earnest. She said she would play games with me, but when I went to her room, she shouted at me to go away and said I was being annoying. And then I saw her just sitting there doing nothing. 5 minutes ago, everyone had been laughing along, amused by the playful honesty of a child. But now Louis's words hung heavily in the air, and the crowd began to realize what they were truly hearing, a glimpse into what some had suspected all along. Camilla's true nature, when the cameras weren't rolling, seemed far less warm and generous. What do you think prompted Prince Louis to make such a bold and unexpected comment about Camilla? Was it just a child's honesty, or do you think he picked up on something deeper? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more.